differentiation. That's a new term that's popular now in schools. Differentiate is to give the same content, but make it less challenging for learning.
Differentiation was a common practice in the time of one-room schoolhouses. Teachers would have students of many different ages and levels in the same classroom that they would have to teach. Many aspects of lessons were frequently self-guided, and gifted students would often work ahead and master lessons for the upper-level students. Today, many classrooms still have students with different ability levels, though perhaps not such a wide range. A lot of teachers still tailor their lesson plans to fit with different students' needs.
Part of the expectation is that teachers are able to meet a variety of learner needs. Some people are real comfortable with that, and they do it very well, and some people really struggle with that.
You have to teach to all levels, so to be able to differentiate is a big thing in order to meet your standards but not leave any students behind.
Differentiating learning and helping meet students where they are and tailoring the ability for students to demonstrate knowledge in a variety of ways also can be more challenging for some teachers than other teachers. People were afraid to ask questions, or they were afraid to speak out. If they had done that in the past, they weren't responded to in a way that encouraged that behavior. They were responded to in a way that sort of discouraged speaking out. So I wanted to invite people to ask questions and reestablish that that's a healthy trait in a work environment.
If I had a multiple choice test and there were 4 multiple choice answers, maybe I'd cut one answer to make it to where that individual with the IEP wouldn't have to extend his realm of thinking, so to speak. Or if it's ESL, I might read the question aloud to the student.
In 1975, the IDEA, or Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, was created to ensure that disabled children were given every educational opportunity possible. Inclusion is considered a civil right, and all disabled children have the right to participate in a classroom with non-disabled students.
We want teachers to help try to support students and help students feel loved and cared for.
Are group members excluded? Maybe, but that's part of group work. They're learning to work as a team, so it's just a whole. I might address it after multiple group work if someone's really being excluded, but they have to figure some things out on their own. That's all part of learning, not just learning about science in my case, but learning about how to do things in life.
Because we have an obligation to help every student that's in our building learn and every student in our building be successful.
So when she started school and they saw her diagnosis of Prader-Willi syndrome, they would have probably fast-tracked her right into special education classes. But I told them to let her try, and then if she got to the point where she couldn't keep up and she couldn't learn, then we would talk about special education classes. We never got to that point.
It's really important to me that we communicate and expect and hold each other accountable, that we are caring and respectful towards everybody in the building.
The teacher understands that I'm slower at doing work and gives me more time, and that's always helpful and really nice. But then there are some teachers who don't understand as well and don't really care if you take more time or not.
I mean, what we're looking for are people who are aware of themselves, who they are, and are committed to growing and committed to being and working in a place that's respectful for all people.
Because she's slow and methodical. She makes good grades, she can learn anything, but she can't do it as quickly as the average student. She always managed to make good grades in the regular classroom, even though she is a special needs child.
And it used to be teachers would sort of say, it's my job to teach it and it's their job to learn it. And that's so contrary to where we are and where we have to be today. I mean, it's our job to teach it. It's our job to facilitate the learning. It's our job to support students in their learning. And it's our job to be sure they learn it.
In the days of one-room schoolhouses, one teacher taught many different students. Evidence suggests that student-teacher relationships may not have been so strong because the teachers had so many students and great responsibilities. Today, most schools strive to have a smaller classroom size for more one-on-one time between teachers and students.
Again, it depends on the teacher and whether they understand and whether they believe in you or not.
Student learning can be enhanced through positive personal connection.
All teachers say that they don't want their students to be their friends, they just want to be their teacher. Well, I disagree with that. I think you need to try to be a friend of your student in a boundaried way, but you still need to have a friendly relationship with them, because if they're not your friends and they don't trust you, then you can't get them to buy into what you're doing. So you don't want to be buddy-buddy with them, bestest friends ever, but you want to be friends with your students. And that's what I mean for a relationship is. It's a relationship where you trust each other and you know you're doing your best to help that individual, so they will do their best to help you back.
Most people go into education because they're caring people. But people are also human beings, and some are more prickly than others, some are kinder than others. And it's about assessing the community, assessing the individuals, and getting to know the school culture and the climate, and determining how you need to set expectations. But
Don't just assume anything. Don't group them all together. They're not the same.
that I have to be the chief learner in that building, and I learn every day about how I interact and how I approach things, and my goal every day is to be better than I was the day before. Realize that also other people have similar or different viewpoints.
Teachers, for the most part, if they're good teachers and caring and understanding, accommodate it very well.
Make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home, but also understand that our school is a community, and when people from the outside come into that community, it may not always be understood by that person why something happens or what the history is.
So it just kind of depends on how the teacher themselves treats the child.
3 C's: caring, communicating, and clarifying. Caring is the most important thing that we do, and we expect that of all people regardless of their age in our building. Schools are dynamic places. There's a lot that happens, and people's needs are different, people's perceptions are different, and I would say for students at Warren Wilson who might be in our building observing or tutoring or doing service, it's important to have ears that are open, eyes that are open, and to watch and listen and observe, and then ask questions.